Hello, welcome you watching the Friday edition of This is Exclusive with me, Yashwant. Perhaps it's the darkest chapter in Indian judiciary. Allegedly, cash was recovered from the residence of a sitting judge in the national capital, leading to a major furore. Tonight on This is Exclusive, we get you top legal luminaries weighing on this entire issue. And not just that, another big exclusive coming in from Karnataka this time, the honey trap scandal. All this and much more, but up first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour.
It is wrong because that is double standard. The only action has to be suspension from judicial office by withdrawing judicial work and an immediate inquiry by a fair and impartial body.
Fire at Delhi High Court judge's house uncovers huge cash pile. Supreme Court Collegium transfers Delhi High Court judge. Massive fight breaks out within judiciary. Allahabad High Court Bar Association pulls up Supreme Court Collegium after corrupt judges transfer, says they are not a trash bin. Republic accesses critical fire department document from 14th of March, burning cash dismissed as stationery. Big setback for Aaditya Thackeray. Bombay High Court registry accepts petition filed by Disha Salyan's father. Karnataka honey trap scandal grows bigger. Now 18 BJP MLAs suspended from the assembly. The Karnataka honey trap scandal has now exploded, with 18 of the BJP legislators to have been suspended in the assembly. There's a demand that there should be a thorough investigation should be carried out when a minister within its own government now saying that he was a victim to a honey trap scandal. It turns out that over 40 political leaders in Karnataka have been honey trapped. And this has led to a major political fight. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a detailed report coming in from Karnataka, getting you details of what really has transpired so far. And what are these pen drives that we're really talking about? Pen drives in the Karnataka Assembly that was being referred to. All this and much more. Now, in a shocking revelation, Karnataka Cooperation Minister, that's K.N. Rajana, claimed in the State Legislative Assembly that 48 MLAs, including top political leaders, were targeted in a honey trap operation. Rajana, who also admitted to being a victim himself along with his family, explained that the modus operandi involved video calls used to entrap individuals with the aim of blackmailing them. He spoke exclusively to Republic Kannada, revealing that several top political figures were also caught in this web of deceit, and he urged for a thorough investigation into the matter. First, take a look at this report.
A political storm erupted in the Karnataka Legislative Assembly following allegations of a honey trap scandal. Legislators, leaders and judges. A total of 49 people are reportedly involved. The issue took center stage after Cooperation Minister K.N. Rajana admitted to being a honey trap victim himself. Siddaramaya's Neta claimed that obscene videos involving the 48 individuals were doing the rounds. The issue was first raised by former Minister Sunil Kumar of the BJP, who attacked the Congress for allegedly running a honey trap factory. What followed was an ugly political slugfest in the assembly.
ಹೌದು ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ, 2 ಸಲ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 2 ಟೈಮ್ಸು. ಸೊ ಅದು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಥರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗೋದು ಮೊದಲನೇದಲ್ಲ, ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವರು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಬಂಡವಾಳಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಡಿವಾಣ ಬೀಳಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಸಚಿವರುಗಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಅದು ದೂರು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ದೂರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತ ಆಗ್ತೈತೆ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೂರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ.
At least 18 BJP MLAs have been marshalled out of the assembly after the uproar.
MLAs who are trying to protect the ruling party ministers. Ruling party minister had claimed that they were the victims of the honey trap.
See, it might be 48 or something more. Each and every case should be inquired thoroughly, and whoever behind this should be booked and put behind the bars, and once for all the whole thing should be cleansed. Otherwise, this kind of dirty politics will bring bad name to the state, and people will lose hope in the democracy.
As the controversy explodes, the Karnataka government has ordered a high-level inquiry into the matter.
Well, this has now led to infighting within the Congress party itself. You've had Satish Jarkoli alleging that a top leader perhaps is behind this with a hidden agenda. In fact, we're now getting you some more breaking news. The fight that has erupted within the Congress party over the honey trap scandal in Karnataka, with the state's Chief Minister's closest aide, B.R. Patil, publicly now expressing his frustration. Patil, who serves as the Chief Minister's aide, has threatened to resign, stating that he is sick of the ongoing controversy surrounding the honey trap operation. His comments have added fuel to the already heated debate within the party as allegations continue to swirl over the involvement of top political figures. Joining me right now is my colleague Abhishek from outside Vidhan Chowda. Abhishek, there is a clear political ramification of what we are witnessing right now. The fight is not between BJP and the Congress, it is Congress versus Congress.
Very well, Shravan. It is very clear that the entire MLAs who are in the Karnataka Assembly are targeting their anger against one person who's behind this honey trap racket. And clearly the BJP, JDS and Congress MLAs hint that the person who is wanting to be a CM in couple of months is behind this racket, and it is directly pointed at the current Deputy CM of Karnataka, DK Shivkumar. Also, we've seen what happened in the Assembly today. Speaker UT Kadir has made sure that 18 MLAs of BJP who tore a couple of people and threw at him were suspended for a span of 6 months. And also, they've been thrown out of the assembly hall by way of marshal carrying them out. And this, in fact, has created another round of ruckus in the assembly hall, not also in the assembly hall, but also at the floor. Now, these 18 MLAs, along with their BJP state president, went to the Raj Bhavan to give a written complaint on what happened at the assembly. The BJP and JDS MLAs, until now, from yesterday, have requested a high-level probe with respect to the honey trap matter, because they feel that the government will obviously shield a person who is involved in this scam because he belongs to their own party and their own government. To avoid any backlash at their government, the Congress will obviously not give out the truthful names or the people who are involved in this.
Abhishek, we're getting in some more breaking news right now. Abhishek, I'm sorry to interrupt you right now. We're getting in some more breaking news. I'm requesting to stay with us. The BJP, in fact, has now accused Congress insiders of orchestrating the honey trap schemes targeting their own ministers, claiming that individuals within the party, particularly those aspiring for the Chief Minister's position, are in fact behind the scandal. Now, according to BJP leaders, at least 3 more Congress ministers have fallen victim to these honey trap operations, which are allegedly being used as a tool in the internal power struggles. Let me also go back to my colleague Abhishek, who's joining us once again. Abhishek, now the BJP has made a direct allegation saying that someone within the Congress party is orchestrating all of this?
Well, Shravan, it is very clear when the Congress people speak off the camera, they are making sure they are targeting their entire eyesight and they are targeting entire direction at the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, clearly and upfrontly saying that he is the only person who is behind this. He is running a racket so that he can become a CM in the next couple of months. Also, two ministers' names have been indirectly revealed, stating they belong to the Tumkur constituency, one being the Home Minister, Dr. G. Parmeshwara, another one being the Corporation Minister, K.N. Rajana. Also, there is a rumor from the Congress party itself, and the congressmen are saying that the high command of Congress indirectly naming K.C. Venugopal is these three people's videos are with D.K. Shivkumar, and he is using this to threaten them and make sure that he would easily get into the path of becoming a CM in the couple of next months. This information is not being shared by BJP nor the JDS, but by the very own congressmen who are in the ruling, who are in the legislation assembly, who are actually afraid of what might happen to them. And also, we'll have to make sure, we'll also have to see that in fact D.K. Shivkumar is very clear about his thoughts. He says, I am not involved. If at all as anyone has a proof, if I am involved in that, let them declare. I am ready to face any consequences. It is also alleged that not only politicians from the state of Karnataka, but the politicians from Delhi are also victimized in this event. And also, this stands as a shocker because BJP, JDS and Congress, all the parties together allege that even IAS, IPS officers have been victimized along with some of the judges. Back to you, Shravan.
Thank you very much, Abhishek, for getting us the latest from Vedant Chowda in Bengaluru. Remember, there's been a massive furore over this entire issue. Shifting focus now to the other top story, the biggest story of 2025, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the darkest chapter in Indian judiciary. For the first time, there is a direct allegation that has been leveled against a sitting judge. And the allegation is of a large pile of cash that has been recovered, unaccounted cash. In fact, it turns out that a fire was reported from the residence of a sitting judge in the national capital. And when the fire services actually reached the spot to douse the fire, along with the police, they found unaccounted cash. Interestingly, there is no mention of that unaccounted cash in a report that has been filed by the Delhi Fire Services. And suddenly you have the Delhi Fire Chief saying that this is a sensitive matter and that is the reason why they cannot comment. But the larger story that basically emerges is the response that has really come in from the Supreme Court Collegium. Now, this very judge that faces some grave charges has now been transferred to Allahabad High Court, resulting in a major backlash with the Allahabad High Court Bar Association saying that, look here, we are not a bin where you can perhaps trash anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, on This Is Exclusive, we have a legal luminary joining us on this broadcast, where you have the former Attorney General of India, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, calling for a complete reform that is basically required, because remember, the impeachment process is a laborious process altogether and a time-taking process, resulting in a situation that you have some sort of a guard that has been provided to someone who has been accused. Here in this particular case, once again, Mukul Rohatgi is saying that while the process is long, it is important that it is a proper reform is essentially ushered in. Listen to what Mr. Mukul Rohatgi had to say. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we are joined by a legal luminary and former Attorney General, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi. Mr. Rohatgi, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, this perhaps has now been seen as one of the biggest scandals to have hit the Indian judiciary. A sitting judge from whose residence cash was allegedly recovered. Now the question is the response really coming in from the Supreme Court Collegium. Many are saying that the transfer is not good enough. How do you really look into this entire issue?
See, first of all, I must tell you, and the viewers must understand, that the only power of the Chief Justice is to either transfer the judge or ensure that the judge does not dispense justice or carry on his duties. So it becomes like a suspension. That's the only thing the Chief Justice of India could have done. The Chief Justice of India does not have power to dismiss a judge, like a power between an employer and an employee. So the only thing additionally which could have been done was to take away the power to dispense justice. That is what could have been done. The system otherwise for removal of a judge is extremely laborious.
Right.
It is provided in the Constitution that there has to be a motion for impeachment. Impeachment can only be if 100 members in Lok Sabha sign a motion and give it to the chairman or give it to the speaker, or 50 members of Rajya Sabha sign a motion and give it to the chairman. Right. Then the matter has to be admitted for hearing. Thereafter, a committee has to be appointed under the Constitution and the Judges Enquiry Act. That committee will have to have a full-blown procedure which takes several months. And then a report is given to the House. Then the House will deliberate. Thereafter, 2/3 of the members present and voting will have to take a call. This system is so laborious that in the last 75 years, no impeachment has occurred. Therefore, there is a very urgent requirement for streamlining the disciplinary process, including removal.
Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, it has reignited this entire debate in a situation like this, particularly what you mentioned, that we haven't really seen an impeachment primarily because it is a laborious process. Having said that, perhaps is this an opportune moment to really look into this entire issue and perhaps put in motion what many would say the much needed reform?
According to me, a complete revamp of the entire system and the rules has to take place, starting from the manner of appointment of a judge of the High Court or the Supreme Court. That was the need of the hour when the NJC bill was moved about 10 years back, which the Supreme Court struck down, and which I may say with great respect, the Supreme Court wanted to retain the power of appointment to itself. In no country in the world do judges appoint judges. There have to be outsiders in a committee to judge the suitability of a lawyer to become a judge. Unfortunately, that attempt failed. That is how the process starts. So if the process of appointment is faulty, it can lead to more chances of undesirable people being appointed. So you fix that first, then you fix the system for removal. Remove this impeachment motion completely, have a far swifter system by amending the Constitution and the Judges Enquiry Act. Make a committee of some judges, retired and sitting, which will include some outsiders like jurists,
right,
lawyers, maybe parliamentarians, and people of probity in national life. Make that a committee, let them look at it, let it be open, let it be transparent, and that is the only way to move forward, not in this manner of a snail's pace.
Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, as we speak, there is also a statement that has now been issued by the Supreme Court, and I would like to quote. They say that there is misinformation, rumors being spread with regard to the incident, the proposal for the transfer of Mr. Justice Yashwant Varma, who's the second senior most judge in the Delhi High Court, to his parent High Court, where he will be the ninth in seniority, is independent, separate from the in-house inquiry procedure. Now, the question here that many are also asking is with regards to the alleged recovery of cash. It turns out that a report of the Delhi Fire Services makes no mention of the cash recovery. And that is the reason why perhaps it leads to a lot of speculation that is there an attempt of cover-up, or perhaps this has not been done the manner in which it should have. At least the fact that the cash recovery should have been mentioned.
See, according to me, it is very, very confusing and puzzling. Till I read a report of the statement of the fire officer on your channel on the telephone just now,
right.
Everybody is proceeding on the basis that hundreds of wads of cash have been recovered. Now we have a statement that no cash is recovered. I don't know what the facts are. Either the government should put out all the facts, because the government will also have the facts. I am sure the Home Ministry was in the know of the whole thing. Either they should say it or the Supreme Court should say it. If nothing is recovered, as the fire officer is saying, then why the transfer? Because you see, a transfer of in the facts of such a case is kind of a death knell of the reputation of the judge concerned. Now, the judge was, I have appeared before him on hundreds of occasions. I found him to be clever and hardworking. Now, I don't know, if there is no cash, then why all this is happening? So the whole thing, you see, is completely opaque even now. And according to me, the Supreme Court should set out, issue a circular or a memorandum saying telling the public at large as to the entire process and the entire thing which has unraveled itself, starting from the fire, who called the fire department, how it was lodged, where was the fire, what did they search, did they search the entire house, where was that money, where was that room, was it in the servant quarter, was it in the guard room, was it in the main house, was it locked, was it unlocked, because no member of the family was present. So, the facts are somewhat bizarre. Therefore, the public is entitled to know what the real thing is.
One final question, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi. There is an argument that has been made that there's an iron curtain when it comes to dealing with the judges of our country, and perhaps there is a reason for it. But having said that, such a situation or such an incident, and some incidents that have happened in the past, perhaps raises this question that is it time to remove that iron curtain, or else the faith that people have in the Indian judiciary would be completely eroded if action is not taken or action is seen to be taken?
See, let us start from the basics. Everybody is equal under the laws, whether it be a judge, whether it be the Prime Minister, whether it be a minister, whether it be a parliamentarian or anybody. If you commit an offence, the law must take its own course. The only cover or a defense in the case of judges is that the nature of duties that they do, it is very easy for a disgruntled litigant to immediately lodge a complaint with the court or the Chief Justice after having lost a case before a judge that the judge is corrupt or the judge did something improper. So you need to filter that, because any day large number of complaints are made which are completely frivolous. That is why you have a little more like a layer of protection. But that does not mean that the system must be opaque. That does not mean that there must be an iron curtain. The need of the hour is a complete revamp in favor of transparency and swiftness.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, for taking out the time and speaking to us.